published 10:01 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, the 29th of April 2018, updated 19:10 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, the 29th of April 2018. Lewis Hamilton has won in the wet, in tight corners, in jalopies, by miles and by fractions. The career win number 63 here on Sunday was the luckiest of his life. So much so that the world champion arrived on the podium late, having taken time out to commiserate with his Mercedes teammate Valtteri Bottas, whose right rear tire blew, thus denying him victory and providing the final twist of a crazy Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Hamilton was commendably embarrassed to be on the top step, but, no doubt, grateful too, for by triumphing for the first time since October, he went top of the World Championship table, 4 points ahead of Ferrari's Sebastian Vettel, whose single late error of the weekend contributed significantly itself to the topsy-turvy outcome. Lewis Hamilton holds the winner's trophy aloft in front of second-placed Kimi Raikkonen, left, and third-place Sergio Perez. Hamilton gives the thumbs-up after winning a dramatic Azerbaijan Grand Prix at the Baku Street Circuit on Sunday. Hamilton sprays champagne on the podium alongside Ferrari's Raikkonen, centre, and Force India's Perez, right. The British driver gives the thumbs-up to his Mercedes team in the paddock after taking victory in Azerbaijan. Mechanics greet the world champion who took his first race victory since October to take the lead in the World Championship. Hamilton had otherwise endured a poor afternoon in Baku before a clash between the Red Bull drivers changed the race. The pivotal moments were set up by a massive smash between the two Red Bulls on lap 40 of 51. Max Verstappen and Daniel Ricciardo had already locked wheels once, but the fifth and fatefully final tussle for supremacy, or fourth place in this case, ended with them both out of the race. Ricciardo was all over the back of Verstappen at 220 miles per hour on the fastest and longest straight in Formula One. Verstappen made a move to hold off the advancing Australian. Ricciardo locked up and ploughed into the back of the younger man. Sparks went flying everywhere and the two drivers sat in the stricken machines for a small age. Adrian Newey, the design guru whose pencil drew the cars that were soon hoisted off the track, folded his file on the pit wall, put it under his arm, and walked off. Team boss Christian Horner stayed in his seat impassively. The safety car came out for the second time in the race. It then stayed out longer than expected when Romain Grosjean somehow put his Haas into the wall. A massive truck came to take the debris away and Hamilton thought it too dangerous for the race to continue. He asked for his safety concerns to be conveyed to the race director, Charlie Whiting. Vettel, on the restart after a safety car, heavily locked up trying to pass Bottas before losing 3 places as a result. Bottas had been course for victory but picked up a puncture with just 3 laps remaining at the end of the race, having been forced to retire from the race while leading. Bottas climbs out of his stricken Mercedes as a marshal looks on. The right rear puncture denied Bottas the chance to claim his first win of the season and put him in the championship hunt. Against the backdrop of the streets of Baku, Bottas trudges off while bystanders look on at the Finnish driver on Sunday. A dejected Bottas contemplates a win that got away, having driven a superb Grand Prix at the Baku City Circuit. Vettel, who was on course to win, puts his foot on his Ferrari, having flat-spotted his tyre late in the race before finishing fourth. Little did Hamilton know then that a premature end to proceedings was the last thing that would have helped him. The action restarted. Bottas was leading, Vettel second, Hamilton third. It looked to be all over. However, Vettel dived down the inside of Bottas, overshot and fell down the field. At this point, Bottas was still in front of Hamilton and in total control. Then, with 3 laps remaining, Bottas's tyre went pop. He had run over some debris, and that let Hamilton through for the victory. Ferrari's Kimi Raikkonen was second, Force India's Sergio Perez third and Vettel fourth. Hamilton did not holler, or punch his fist, on the podium. "It doesn't feel like justice, a relief," he said a few hours later, when it was suggested he had been unlucky in the opening race in Melbourne through a timing glitch during a virtual safety car phase and that this was his rightful payback. "It is a humbling feeling. I just told myself to keep going, and something might happen. My whole life I have done that. You are climbing a hill and keep falling down. My dad told me never to give up. Daniel Ricciardo crashed into the back of Red Bull teammate Max Verstappen trying to overtake on the start-finish straight. Ricciardo collided with his teammate after the Dutchman had attempted to defend in the battle for fourth position. The collision put both drivers out of the race after both cars skidded into the runoff area at Turn 1 in Azerbaijan. Ferrari's Kimi Raikkonen left was involved in a first-lap crash that put Esteban Ocon of Force India out of the race. Constructors: 1 Ferrari 114 PTS, 2 Mercedes 110, 3 Red Bull 55, 4 McLaren 36, 5 Renault 35, 6 Force India 16, 7 Toro Rosso 13, 8 Haas 11, 9 Sauber 10, 10 Williams. For his performance on an afternoon when he locked up twice, ran off, struggled with his tires, fought the strong wind and occasionally had brusque words over the radio with his team. Hamilton said, "If my normal level is usually eagle birdie, today I was shooting some pars and bogeys. Valtteri had a great race. He has more than earned his place here at Mercedes. I went to see him out of respect and to try to lift him up a bit. I like to win by outsmarting and outperforming every driver out there." Vettel's demeanor afterwards was contented, as he ate a piece of bread in the paddock. His car remains the fastest, and when the result of what Hamilton called a lottery of a race is set aside, the German holds the advantage of speed in a longer tussle for the title. Race 5 of 21 comes in Barcelona a fortnight hence. Happens, said Vettel. Without a safety car it would have been a different race. I saw the gap on the side and unfortunately it did not work out for me. But that is easy to say now. I went over a bump and had front locking, but I'm not blaming that. I am captain of my own ship. I am not worried. We have a good car and that is the most important thing. Indeed, not everything is yet in place for Hamilton, including his new contract, which, you feel, should not be long delayed in the signing. For his own clarity of thought, he arrived here to learn that Bernie Ecclestone had said that, aged 33 and worn out by travel, he was not quite the racer he once was. The verdict on that remains open. The last word should go to the moral victor, Bottas, the man extracting the best out of his Mercedes on tires older than his more illustrious teammates. Asked how he would cope with the missed moment of glory, the Finn said, "You need to go through difficulties. That is part of racing. At the moment it's really painful. Maybe 10 pints and I'll be fine." Fernando Alonso recovered from a double puncture on the first lap to take 7th place for McLaren in Baku. The highly rated Charles Leclerc took his first ever Formula One points by claiming 6th for Sauber in Azerbaijan. Hamilton had been running second, in front of Bottas, earlier in the race but struggled. On his red-banded Supersofts, Vettel drives down one side of the track as a Sauber driver makes his way round another part of the circuit. On Sunday, Raikkonen makes his way up the hill as a spectator from a window attempts to take a photo of the on-track action. Hamilton poses alongside pop star Christina Aguilera, who was present at the Grand Prix as a guest in Azerbaijan on Sunday.